Good morning, Flagler County, and welcome to Veterans on Point, a WNZF radio show developed in mind for our county's beloved and respected veterans population and anyone else listening via internet or podcast. I'm your host, David Lyden, the Flagler County Veteran Services Officer, and I am not here with my friend and colleague at the office this week. Eric is on vacation, well-deserved vacation, but I am here with Jeff Kingdon, Marine Corps veteran. Good morning, Jeff. And he's the Flagler County Veteran of the Year for another couple months anyway.
Thank you for inviting me.
And you know Jeff is on the list of loyal listeners and legal loyal listeners, and he does so much in our community for veterans and their families. So, Jeff, I know you got some things to share later on.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that.
Okay, thanks.
But thanks for being here and being the guest host this week.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so moving right along, Flagler County Veterans Services is there to help our veterans and their family members with VA business, all kinds of VA business, from claims to information about health care and burial and education, home loans, etc., and much more. To make an appointment to come on in and see us, give us a call at 386-313-4014, 386-313-4014. And we'll have our typical national anthem at the end of the program. Which one did we use last week? The one I sent you, just a regular national anthem? Yeah. We'll do that one again this week. But what we have here is, of course, our legal loyal listeners. I got a call from Bicycle Frank, and I actually left a message while I was away for a couple of days. But Eric left the message for me, and Bicycle Frank said he ran into Frankie Sr., who's also on the legal loyal listeners. So we're bringing legal loyal listeners together. They're finding themselves out there in the community. So Bicycle Frank said he wants to meet Frankie Jr., who is also a legal loyal listener. So, guys, I'm glad you're finding each other out there, veterans meeting veterans, and so Frankie, Bicycle Frank, I know you'll get to meet Frankie Jr. He's a good young man, and Frankie Jr., thanks for always listening week to week, and I know you're a listener of Free for All Friday and many more of the WNZF radio programs. So, Frankie Jr., Frankie Sr., Bicycle Frank, all the Franks coming together.
I met them at Warbirds over Flagler, David.
Yeah, I think they were all there. I don't think they saw each other there, but we met them. We saw them, right? So also on the League of Loyal Listeners, of course, the leader is Billy Jones. Billy Jones, good morning, Billy. I know you're listening. He listens every Sunday at 9:30.
Morning, Billy. And
Navy Master Chief Dan, his wife Kay, they have an anniversary coming up in late August.
Morning, Master Chief.
And
Dan.
we'll be heading to that, spend some time with them on their anniversary. And, of course, we've got our Marine pal Jeff Kingdon here in the studio today. And then we know Talkin' Tom. Have you seen Talkin' Tom lately?
No.
No? Charlie Hanger. Charlie stopped in the other day to see me, had some questions. And his wife Jenny, thanks for listening. Then we've got Valerie and Dennis and Sharon's husband Bill, who is the veteran. And we got Shane and Norman and Howard and his wife Valerie and William and Holly and Keith and Jim and Stephen and many James, like James the Mail Maid left a message. Hello, James the Mail Maid. I know you're staying busy helping the seniors that you work with, and most especially he enjoys helping veterans. We've got Gary and Leon and Don and Delmer and Michael. Some more James Lee, the firefighter, and we've got James T. Miller, Army Sergeant First Class. We got Mr. Holt and the Gallaghers and William and so many others. If you're a listener and you'd like to let us know that you're a listener, give us a call at 386-313-4014. Let us know that you're listening. Okay, so Jeff, you know what's coming up. This is the week of August 3rd through the, what do we do, the 9th here for this week? Yeah. And so August 7th is Purple Heart Day. And the Purple Heart is a United States military decoration awarded to members of the armed forces who have been wounded or killed in action. It was established by General George Washington in 1782 as the badge of military merit. It was revived in 1932 as the Purple Heart Medal. It is awarded to those who were injured or killed as a result of enemy action or, since 2010, due to friendly fire under specific circumstances. The medal is presented in the name of the President and is one of the oldest U.S. military awards, symbolizing bravery, sacrifice, and patriotism. Eligibility includes any service member of the United States Armed Forces, and the award can be given posthumously to the next of kin. The Purple Heart is a prestigious honor, recognizing the personal cost of service in combat. Each year, the Flagler County Board of County Commissioners makes a proclamation making August 7th Purple Heart Day in our county, and the week of Purple Heart Week, or the same week that August 7th is Purple Heart Week. And incidentally, Flagler County is a Purple Heart county. So if you know a recipient of a Purple Heart medal, August 7th is the day that celebrates that decoration. So just tell them thank you. We, at our ceremony this year, or at the Board of County Commissioners meeting where they read the proclamation, was a couple of weeks ago. And the recipients, every year, Charlie Hanger, who's a Purple Heart recipient, combat medic, he's our perennial recipient who is always Johnny on the spot to be there. And he went to the city's proclamation too, Palm Coast proclamation. But we also this year had Major Dennis Ryan, who is he's actually a retired Air Force major, but he was a Marine before he was in the Air Force and earned his 2 Purple Hearts in Vietnam as a Marine. Wow. And so thank you, Major Ryan, and appreciate you coming out to the proclamation at the Board of County Commissioners meeting a couple weeks ago. How often do you feel like you've got achy, breaky muscles and joints?
More often than not.
More often than not at the age of?
29.
29. So Massage by Natalie. They're at 4871 Palm Coast Parkway Northwest, Suite number 1 in Palm Coast. And their number is 386-227-7499. They are the sponsors of podcasts here on WNZF. So give them a look. Give them a call. Again, 386-227-7499. So we like to talk about history here on Veterans on Point. And for the last 22 weeks, we have profiled a U.S. president. We're in our 23rd week this time. And this week, President Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd President of the United States, served from 1889 to 1893. He was a man whose legacy is often overshadowed by flashier figures, yet his life brims with intriguing lesser-known details. Born in 1833 on a farm in North Bend, Ohio, Harrison was the grandson of William Henry Harrison, the 9th president, making him part of a rare political dynasty. His lineage tied him to the American frontier, but Benjamin carved his own path with a blend of intellect, grit, and quirks that history tends to overlook. One fascinating tidbit is Harrison's role as a Civil War hero. A lawyer by trade, he answered Lincoln's call in 1862, raising a regiment of over 1,000 men for the Union Army. As a colonel of the 70th Indiana Volunteer Infantry, he led his troops into battle at Resaca and Peachtree Creek, earning praise for his bravery. His soldiers nicknamed him Little Ben due to his short stature, barely 5 feet 6 inches. But his courage loomed large. He once rallied his men under heavy fire, a feat that later bolstered his political image as a steadfast leader. Harrison's presidency, though, is where the obscure gems shine. He was the first president to have electricity installed in the White House in 1891, but here's the kicker. He and his wife, Caroline, were so terrified of being electrocuted that they refused to touch the light switches. Staff had to turn the lights on and off for them, a comical contrast to Harrison's otherwise progressive push for modernization. His administration saw the passage of the Sherman Antitrust Act, the first federal law to curb monopolies, a bold move that laid the groundwork for future economic regulation, though it was rarely enforced in his time. Less known is Harrison's passion for environmental conservation. He signed the Forest Reserve Act of 1891, which allowed presidents to set aside public lands as national forests. This obscure legislation birthed the U.S. National Forest System, preserving millions of acres for future generations. His foresight here is rarely celebrated, but was pivotal in shaping America's natural heritage. On a personal note, Harrison's love life stirred quiet scandal. After Caroline's death in 1892, he remarried in 1896 to Mary Dimmock, his late wife's niece, who was 25 years younger. The age gap and familial tie raised eyebrows, and his children disapproved, creating a rift. Harrison's stoic demeanor hid a complex man. Devoutly Presbyterian, he reportedly read the Bible daily, yet he was not above indulging in billiards or hosting lavish White House dinners. Despite losing his 1892 re-election bid to Grover Cleveland, Harrison's impact endures in subtle ways. He championed civil rights, advocating for African-American voting protections, though Congress rebuffed him. His presidency, bookended by Cleveland's non-consecutive terms, earned it the nickname the Sandwich Administration. Harrison died in 1901, leaving a legacy of quiet but enduring contributions, from forests to fair markets that shaped a modernizing nation.
I like your history, David. I learn something every week. Thank you.
I certainly do too, just by putting it together. So I get a great thrill out of it. I hope others enjoy learning a little bit more about our presidency or our presidents, and realizing how. I mean, here's a guy 5'6", was a Civil War veteran, a tough guy, and I just if those who want to go back and read history can gather a lot of fortitude from those who came before us. So I encourage you to read more about your presidents. Well, here's a quote of the week from Benjamin Harrison. "I pity the man who wants a coat so cheap that the man or woman who produces the cloth will starve in the process." So I thought that one was apropos because we have been shipping our labor and off to foreign countries so that we can have cheaper goods. So what he's kind of saying is that if you pay your Americans more, Americans will do better.
We'll all gain by it.
We'll all gain by it. Americans will do better. We'll all gain by it, and all that money will stay in our country instead of floating elsewhere. I don't know if that was offshore then, but of course it kind of fits for today's situation.
Yeah.
So if we pay a little bit more for something, and an American makes it,
it's better for the economy.
It's better for the United States of America. So. All right, so we'll shift gears into drivers. The DAV is seeking volunteer drivers to take veterans from their homes to their VA appointments. You can call the DAV at 386-439-2122 to find out how to become a volunteer. And you do not need to use your own vehicle for this volunteer endeavor. The DAV does have VA vehicles for that purpose. You do need to be insurable. You do need to have a physical conducted by the VA. So these appointments are to help veterans who need rides to their VA clinic appointments, to their medical center appointments, can be to appointments set up by the VA through community care. So they may go to the Advent Hospital or local doctors that have been set up by the VA, so they can go to those appointments too. And to your compensation and pension exam. So if you've made a disability claim with the VA and the VA has sent you to an examination, the DAV Chapter 86 volunteers can take you to those appointments. You should give them a call at least a week in advance to get on their schedule so that they can find one of the volunteers, go through their list, find a volunteer to take you to your appointment. It works very, very well. A lots of veterans take advantage of it, and they're always in need of volunteers. So, again, DAV Chapter 86 at 386-439-2122. All right, let's send it over to Jeff. Jeff, you've got some things to talk about.
Yeah. Recently, a friend of mine who lost her husband, a Marine Corps Sergeant Major, and she got involved with VVMF, Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund, and they have a program called In Memory. And it's for thousands of Vietnam veterans that have suffered due to Agent Orange exposure, PTSD, and other illnesses as a result of serving our country in Vietnam. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund, VVMF, believes all those who served in Vietnam should be honored and remembered for their service. The In Memory program enables the families and friends of those who came home and later died due to their experience in Vietnam the opportunity to have them forever memorialized. The plaque on the grounds of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Site, that's the wall in Washington, and there's a plaque on the ground that honors these veterans, and it reads, "In memory of the men and women who served in the Vietnam War and later died as a result of their service. We honor and remember their sacrifice." In Memory was created in 1993. More than 7,000 veterans have been added to the In Memory honor roll since the program began. Like I said, a friend of mine participated in this year, and this year they recognized 774 Vietnam veterans. They were honored the In Memory program. And it happens every Father's Day, again, like I said, at the wall in Washington, D.C. If you ever want to see the honorees, just visit the In Memory Honor Roll site.
So on the face of the wall are the 58,000 plus veterans service members who were killed in Vietnam. Through this program, there's a
website.
There's a plaque on the ground, you said, where their names they're added?
No names are added to that, but that recognizes them.
Oh, there's a plaque.
And there's a memorial website that their names get placed on.
I see. So they can go, folks can go to the website and see who.
Yeah.
And those are for veterans who, maybe died from their Agent Orange exposure or some other health condition related to their service.
Yeah.
Whether it was, or whether it was a wound that they had, or whether it was, I'm guessing probably some from PTSD, and then maybe they took their life because of that.
Very possible.
Very possible. Okay.
Very possible. If you have a relative or a family that has a person served in Vietnam and has died, you can certainly get them involved in the next ceremony. But you have to get a hold of VVMF by March 29th, 2026, so that you can participate in next year's program. And what I find, the easiest way to find VVMF In Memory is to do a Google search. Just VVMF In Memory, and I think it's the second one down that addresses In Memory, and there's an application in there. You can look at people who've been honored. Mm-hmm. It's a nice website. And again, like I said, it was developed by the people that developed the Vietnam War.
Okay. The memorial.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very good.
All right. So, and that was from, you say Midge, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Midge and her husband, Joe Woodward. Mm-hmm. Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps. E9.
And he passed away last year.
Yeah.
And Midge went up this year to be part of the ceremony.
Yeah. Yes.
And she brought that information back. So thank you, Midge.
Yeah, thank you, Midge. And she sent a picture of herself with a little plaque where they recognized Joe, and her two grandchildren were right next to her.
Oh, very nice.
So it's really a family thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
So what else do you have? I know you have some other information.
A couple of things, Dave. If I can add this, don't forget that July 27th was the Korean Armistice Day. So remember, if you see if you see a Korean veteran, be sure to thank them for serving our country, because it's the forgotten war or something other than a war. But the reality is it was a war. Another thing is, I visit a couple of senior nursing homes, and I've been talking to veterans about what I know about benefits. You can fit on the head of a tack.
Oh, you know way more than that now.
But I refer them to you guys. But I also look for other things to get them involved in. And the 3 veterans at San Cyr have been accepted in the honor flight.
Oh, okay.
This year.
When do they go up? In October or something?
I think it's October. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where they, they fly out of either Jacksonville or Orlando, depending on where their flight is, at 4:30 in the morning. They spend the day in Washington at the memorials, and then they get home like at 9:30 at night.
That's a long day for a senior.
But they're wheelchaired.
Yeah. It'd be a long day for me.
Me too. Also, if I can, Dave, talk about a couple of meetings, the organizations. The Marine Corps League, the First Sergeant Burdett W. Laux Jr. Marine Corps League meets the third Tuesday at AMVETS in Bunnell at 1800, and it's at 3400 Steel Rail Drive, Bunnell.
That's 6 p.m. for you Marines who forgot the 24-hour clock.
And we have pizza at 5:15.
Okay.
So it's sort of a social for 45 minutes. And then there's the VFW that meets on the third Wednesday of every month at 6 p.m. And they have dinner.
They have dinners now?
For members.
Oh, nice.
And that's at 47 Old Kings Road, Palm Coast, Florida. And the DAV, the Jim Bowie Chapter 86, meets the second Tuesday at 10:30 in the morning at 27 Florida Park Drive in Palm Coast.
Okay, very good.
And the American Legion, do you know where they're meeting now, David?
They were meeting at the
Recreation Center.
The South Recreation Center in Palm Coast, off of Belterre by the tennis courts.
I didn't know if they moved or not.
I think they're still there, maybe in the process of changing locations once again.
Okay. And can I mention one other thing?
Well, let me get in a topic here.
Okay, sorry.
And then if we've got time, we'll get that.
Okay.
But I wanted to get in some information, some VA information this week. We'd like to get some of that in. And so this week we're going to cover a little bit about your VA healthcare benefits. And as a VA healthcare enrollee, like myself and Jeff, and many of you out there, just want to let you know, if you're aware that you can use urgent care clinics through the VA healthcare system. So if the VA clinic is closed, you can't get in, but you need some medical care, and it's urgent care, not emergency care. We've got 4 of them that are here in Palm Coast. So we've got the Minute Clinic that's at 1 Old Kings Road in Palm Coast, MediQuick Urgent Care Center, which is at 6 Office Park Drive, Advent Health Centricare at 61 Medical Memorial Parkway, MediQuick Urgent Care Center, which is at 140 Pinnacle Drive. So before you go, make sure that you have your valid government issue photo ID with you, and you can go either print out from your home computer or put it on your phone and bring in a copy of the VA urgent care billing information, so that when you go to the folks at urgent care, they know they have the information for where the billing goes to for your care. And so I don't know if a lot of people know that if you have things like strep throat, pink eye, sprained muscles, ear infections, maybe you need x-rays for something, some types of lab tests, some medicines and vaccines that these urgent care centers, if you're a VA enrollee, you can take advantage of if your condition requires it. So that's one thing.
That's very good information, David. And I think you give out excellent information for veterans. That's nice to know.
I think some people just don't think about it. They
don't know about it.
Don't know about it.
Yeah.
All right, we're down to 2-minute warning. So, and then we'll just cover emergency care. So if you're an enrollee in the VA healthcare system, you can also use non-VA emergency care. So if you have an emergency, and an emergency is defined as a person with average knowledge of health and medicine, calls a prudent layperson would reasonably believe that a delay in seeking care would have put their life or health in danger. So that's an emergency care. So if you need emergency care, you can go to, here in Palm Coast, go to the Advent Emergency Room. Just got to make sure you let the VA know within 72 hours that you needed emergency care and that you were there. So that phone number is 844-742-7842. So do not use the emergency care for something that's only urgent care, because the VA is going to make you pay for it, or they're not going to cover it. And use this stuff, use these benefits as needed. But make sure you follow the rules, and things will be good, and you won't have to call Eric and I and say that I want to put in an appeal because the VA won't pay me. Well, follow the rules, and the VA will take care of it. All right. So anything quick, because we're down under the 2-minute warning. So that's when I got to let you know that no country, no state, and no community does more for veterans than the United States of America, the great and free state of Florida, the wonderful Flagler County, the lovely city of Palm Coast, and all of our beautiful beach cities. I ask that you be a victor, not a victim. Be educated, not indoctrinated. And most importantly, be kind to someone today, or many someones, or all week. Be kind to people all week. How's that? And all year, and every day.
And thank you for serving our country.
And thank you for serving. Thank you for listening. And God bless you. See you next week.